Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the month of May 2019. This month, if you want to catch me live, I go live every single day at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time now. So if you want to catch me live, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and you will catch me live. But Aries, let's see what is going on for you this month. And yeah, a lot of new beginning energy for you right off the bat. A lot of mental energy. This has come up for, I've done half the signs so far already in the readings, and there has been a lot of mental energy, a lot of thinking, planning, you know, all that other stuff. But you start off with the Knight of Wands, so I feel like you're showing up in a very strong position. Yeah, some of you could be very passionate about something new or starting something new in your life. So this could be like a new business, new relationship, pretty much anything. But like all your cards, like I said, your reading is actually very different than everybody else's because you're the only one that has all this stuff about starting something new. You have the Magician, which is a new beginning, the Door here, which is an Oracle card that just represents a new beginning as well. You have the Page of Wands, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. These are all cards of like moving towards something new in a lot of ways. So I feel like a lot of you could be starting something new. Could be a new job, new relationship, new business. You know, pretty much anything is what those cards are saying. Next, you have the Nine of Swords and the Moon. Yeah, I would definitely say stay out of your head this month. I do feel like we could just have a lot of random, like, dumb thoughts, basically, is what's popping into my head. And again, pretty much every other sign that I've read for this month has had this, you know, kind of mental, like it seems like a very mental month, let's put it that way. But I would definitely say, you know, don't buy into any illusions or fantasies. The other thing is that I would say what seems to be the case is that maybe we start something that seems like a good idea, but then like all the negative thoughts kind of start popping in. It's like maybe we give a relationship a try after not being in a relationship for a long time or something, and then we have all these like negative thoughts that pop into our head about like what could happen and all that other stuff. So I'd say, you know, avoid thinking like that. Avoid thinking about the what ifs and all that other stuff with these two cards. That's pretty much all I'm getting here. Next, you have the Magician. So, new beginning, yeah, look at this, Ten of Cups. Like, you are completing cycles is what I would say here with this Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups can be a card of completion. To me, Ten of Cups is also a card of fortune after difficulty. So it can kind of say that you are ending these, like, difficult cycles and moving on to bigger and better things in your life. So, and look, you know, the sun is rising here. So, it can say, like, the sun is rising on your life. Things are kind of looking better and turning around. The Magician, I also feel like this could be a realization for a lot of you Aries people. I feel like this could be realizing the tools, the talents, gifts, and abilities that you have that could lead to this, like, true happiness. So a lot of you could be doing that. Really wouldn't surprise me. You know, I always say this about this chart. Uranus moving into Taurus, you know, I feel like it's going to be very innovative, and you know, we could be coming up with a lot of ideas, but we could also be finding new ways of making money. We could be learning, you know, maybe it's like we discover we have talents that could lead to a lot of success. It's like, you know, 10 years ago, maybe even just like 10 years ago, it would not have been possible really to have a business with tarot on YouTube, right? Like just 10 years ago. That's not that long ago. So, you know, I feel like with Uranus and Taurus, I feel like there are going to be new things where maybe in the past there would have been no way to make money off of a talent that you have, but maybe now there are things that will be opening up that will allow you to make money. Maybe it could just be side money, could just be pocket money, but you know, it's better than nothing, right? So I feel like a lot of you could have ideas. These could be very entrepreneurial ideas, but they could also be very simple as well. They could be about hobbies and things like that, is what I see here. They could be more passion-based, Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, passions. So, you know, these ideas that you're having, maybe, like I said, maybe it's not a full-blown business, but maybe you start something that makes money on the side, is what I'd say here. Your challenge this month is the Frenzy card, yeah, between movement and not movement, is what I would say here. Frenzy, so your challenge here is, Frenzy is a card of busyness. It's one of the Oracle cards in this deck. And the Hangman is Hangman, you know, it's being stuck in limbo. So it's like your challenge could be the disconnect between like knowing when to start on some sort of new opportunity and when to kind of like wait. You know, the Hangman to me is a card of following breadcrumbs as well. You know, it can be a card of being stuck and trapped and stuck in limbo and feeling like you have to make a sacrifice or, you know, something along those lines. But to me, it also just says if you follow the clues, if you follow the breadcrumbs, basically, those breadcrumbs will lead you to success. And, you know, it's interesting that your solution to your challenge here is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is a card of curiosity. So I feel like if you are stuck in limbo in some area of your life, whether it's love, money, spirituality, whatever, I feel like your solution is to be curious and to just try new things, is what I would say here. You know, it's funny because I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago. I said this on my daily last night, that I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago who had a business. and they were promoting their products on like Facebook and Pinterest and all this other stuff. Their original business plan was to just run through Facebook, basically, to just run their business through Facebook ads, all this other stuff. But they were seeing more success on Pinterest. But they kept just trying to make Facebook ads work. And it's like, this is that type of energy. It says, don't try to force something in your life, whether it's a business, a relationship, whatever, if something else is working. It says, do what works. Basically, Saturn and Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn. Do what works. It's literally that simple. I always tell people Saturn and Capricorn is the 80-20 rule. It says you are going to be getting 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts or the things that you do. So it just basically says, Saturn and Capricorn says, focus on the 20%. Focus on the 20% of the things that are bringing you 80% of your results, and you'll be moving forward much faster. And I feel like that's what this is saying as well. But again, this could be like random stuff where it's like maybe you're in a relationship where it's like you keep trying to give the person gifts. Like there could be a disconnect in your love languages or whatever, but maybe they just want personal time. Maybe they just want to hang out with you, and that is enough to keep the relationship moving forward. So I feel like this is saying, don't be stuck because of, what you believe or because what you think is working. Really pay attention to what is working this month. Next, again, your solution is the Page of Swords and the Five of Wands to learn. This came up for somebody else. The Five of Wands, I don't really remember what sign it was, but the Five of Wands to me will always be a card of learning. A lot of card readers read the Five of Wands as a card of conflict or challenges. But really, on a traditional Five of Wands, the people, it looks like they're fighting right on the card. But really they are training. They are learning. They are going through kind of a learning process. And this message shows up in the dailies all the time, that maybe we have been through a lot of difficulties over the past like 8 years or so, but we really need to look at those things as learning experiences, and we need to try to gather information. I keep telling people, there is gold in your suffering from the past. Hangman, right there, sacrifice. There is gold in the sacrifices that you have had to make in the past, in your relationships, business, and work, everything. And you just need to figure out what that gold is. What is in those challenges that could make you more successful in the future? Or is there some sort of story that you could share about your struggles that could help inspire people, and that could lead to a business, or whatever. I think there's so much opportunity here. But Page of Swords basically just says follow your curiosity. Five of Wands, learning, so I'd say keep learning, but this also says move towards things that make you curious. Next, Page of Wands, again, you, High Priestess, trust your intuition. Number one, but Page of Wands, I feel like it's saying, kind of move towards your curiosity. Again, move towards things that make you passionate, and keep experimenting. I feel like this is saying, it's like we live in a world where it's like everybody's afraid to make a mistake, and I think this has to do with schooling, where, we're taught we have to get A's all the time, so it's like we're afraid to fail, right? So I feel like this is saying maybe you have to fail a bunch of times before your business is successful, or maybe you have to fail a bunch of times before you have a successful relationship. So I feel like a lot of you need to experiment more here, and trust your intuition. For others, Pisces has been showing up in your readings every single day, pretty much, for the most part. With a few exceptions, of course. Some days it doesn't show up, but in the daily readings, a lot of you have a Pisces showing up. So a lot of you could have Pisces or somebody with Pisces in their chart who is passionate about you. This could be an admirer, could be for love. I'm not saying you have to, accept this person, but I'm just saying I feel like some of you have somebody who's very passionate about you in your life, and it could be a Pisces. And again, this could be just somebody that you work with or something like that. For others, I feel like this is, again, just saying follow your intuition. This is a very intuitive card as well, so I would trust your intuition this month. And finally, you have the Knight of Swords and the Historian. What did I say? Everything was about the past, right? And so I feel like there is just a lot of information and a lot of good stuff in your past difficulties and challenges that you've been through. This comes up for Leo a lot as well. So I feel like there could be just a lot of gold in those challenges. I always tell people, it's like, read any book about anybody who's ever been successful. In that book, they always talk, the first half of the book is always about all the bad stuff that they had to go through to get to where they are. So I always tell people, it's like, there is gold in your past. There is gold in even the difficulties and challenges that you have been through. So you have to kind of look at those things. It's funny, somebody asked me for an example the other night as well about this, and I said, well, it's like, they were asking about relationships. They're like, I had a really bad relationship. How is that a good thing? I'm like, what you have to realize about relationships is that these are mirror reflections of us at a certain point in our life. Like, when I think back on my relationships that I've been through, some of the toughest ones, the person I was with reminds me of where I was like 10 years ago sometimes, or whatever. And sometimes they will be in exactly the same place I was. They will be having some of the same experiences. So I feel like these people come into our lives to teach us something, or to remind us of the difficulties we went through in our lives. And they could be saying, do you want to relive this or not? And what are you going to do to make sure you do not relive the past? So I feel like your reading is all about the past now, now that I see the end of this. But Aries, it looks really good. So thank you for watching and enjoy your month.